trying to show the riders where the track really, the surface really is, where they're going to be racing. I'm expecting it'll be down low for a little while. Maybe later, as the moisture comes up at the end of the night, we might see some riders go up to the top side, to the high side.
And that is exactly what Jared Mees told me earlier in the day. I asked him, how do you anticipate this track to shape up? He said they're unloading with their Sonoy setup, actually, which is what we always considered a larger kind of short track. We expect it to be racier, wider lanes of racing. But what Jared told me as well, you can never be too prepared, right? So they have some different options to unload with if the track doesn't trend in the direction they're hoping for. But, Scotty, this could race like a bigger short track.
It's a good place to start, especially with the banking here. It's not quite as steep as the banking in Sonoy, Georgia, and it's a lot different dirt, but it's fast. We've seen sprint cars have raced here before. It's our first time here. It's my first time up here. Of course, Ralph Shaheen, who'll be along later on, he cut his teeth just down the road at Cycleland Speedway, so he called several races here.
He also went to college here
yeah.
in Chico, California. I was able to view the what we believe was the alumni office. Brad, do we have a photo of that? The alumni office? We might have that in our group text.
Well, we know that
a photo of the alumni office, Brad. Can we?
Ralph spent 3 years here going to school and has made full use of his education that he got here in Chico. And we just went down and toured old downtown Chico and had dinner or lunch over there. And now we're back here at the racetrack getting ready to go. We're just a few moments away from the first round of practice. For your new fans that are here, we start with the Mission Super Twins. They'll have two groups, one round of practice. The Astros will be right after that, which is the running of the Bulls. It's the Bull Tacos. And then we'll come with our Parts Limited AFT Singles, their first round of practice. And then we'll take a quick break. They'll check on the racetrack since we've never been here before, see if they need to add moisture or turn it up a little bit or whatever they need to do. So it's a beautiful little short track. I don't know, it's maybe a third mile-ish. It's maybe
a fourth
bigger.
mile high-banked clay short track. So let's go ahead and get a full lap with our drone footage here. Scotty, what are we seeing? Brian Smith was just in the truck, and he said it's like a half pipe. It's like a bowl. What are we looking at here?
So this is going into turn number 3. They will exit the racetrack right there and go back into the pits. But they'll slide it in the corner. You can see the hash marks on the inside. They left it dug up because they don't want them running the very bottom of the racetrack. They want them to use more of the facility and go maybe up the racetrack. Brian Smith, like you just alluded to, talked to us about the racetrack. As the night wears on, we should see a blue groove at some point, probably around the bottom of the racetrack, and then hopefully some of these riders will push it in there even harder, go up into the deeper stuff or into the looser stuff, maybe square off the corner, put your feet on the pegs, and point it down the next straightaway.
And that is a lap around the Silver Dollar Speedway here on FloRacing in Chico, California. Let's go ahead and check out one note that we're kind of seeing here too, Scotty, no wall around the back corner.
Yeah, and outside of turns 1 and 2 either, so there's plenty of runoff. But we saw a few people bouncing off the front straightaway wall at Ventura just a week ago. But here, if you get pushed wide or if you go wide, the momentum carries you up the racetrack. It just kind of drops off a little bit, kind of like Devil's Bowl Speedway does on the back straightaway. So it's plenty of room to exit if there's something happening in front of you, somebody goes down. You have plenty of room and plenty of way to pass that particular part of the racetrack.
Now, Scotty, a few big storylines entering the debut of this track, if you will. A lot of the riders, the veteran riders like Jared Mees, or even at this point maybe like a Sammy Halbert, they have notebooks on how these tracks race and develop. But this is an equalizer because we don't have that notebook.
Yeah, and you're going to rely on your book for similar racetracks. I know a lot of people cut their teeth on short tracks, so you look through your notebook. Maybe you're not riding the same motorcycle, but maybe roughly the gear ratio that you want to run. So you'll look through there and try to get to your front.
And as we know, Jared Mees unloaded with his Sonoy setup when I spoke with him earlier. So there are some comparable tracks setting-wise that they can unload with, but again, we don't know how this track is going to race. Let's go ahead and get a look at the current Super Twins rider standings. Dallas Daniels took the lead after we left Ventura. Brandon Robinson in second, only 2 points behind him, and then Jared Mees in third. Now, I did talk to Jared Mees. I said, do you feel any urgency, the 9-time champ, to be in a points-leading position this early in the season? He said, not at all. At this point in the season last year, 24 points down, and he still went on to win the championship. Dallas Daniels, however, said, at this point last year, I was 24 points up, so it doesn't mean anything to have the points lead at this point in the season, but you have to wonder, time is ticking away for Jared Mees. He is due for a win.
Yeah, it's definitely time for get up there and get another victory. It's a track where I think he should be really good at. And, of course, he has Kenny Tolbert in his back pocket to help set that motorcycle up for a brand new facility.
One of the best mechanics of all time.
Absolutely.
Best crew chief. Yeah.
Probably about the second winningest rider. He's up there somewhere in the top 3 for sure. So it definitely helps to have him in your corner. They know exactly what they want to start with. You said they're going out there with Sonoy set up. So what that means basically is what countershaft sprockets you have on the front. The rear sprocket, you can change that pretty quickly. It has a quick knockoff. You come in, If he's revving it too hard, he'll take a tooth or two off that rear sprocket to go in the corner a little bit further before you get to the rev limiter. So it's little bitty changes like that, but you have to make them quick, and you have to adapt to the racetrack too, because you don't have a lot of time in between rounds, so you have times maybe to change a rear sprocket, maybe change the setup on the suspension a little bit, and then you go right back out there. 2 rounds of practice, and then you have 2 rounds of qualifying.
Not to mention the singles who will be out there on track after our bull tacos today. And in the singles points standings, let's get a look at those and see who's leading the points. Cody Kopp, no surprise, he has a lot of boxes to check off this season. He wants to be the winningest singles rider in history. He wants to win 3 back-to-back singles championship titles, and he reminded me he also wants to win the most races in a season, which would be 9 this year, and he is on par to reach all of those goals this year.
But he did finish off the podium for the very first time last weekend. It's weird because you think a West Coast rider, he would shine, but he just struggled just a little bit. I mean, not taking anything away from him, still a 4th place finish, but his points gap went from 17 points, now it's down to 14 points as Drain picked up his 2nd win of the season. Chase Sadoff is slowly climbing up there.
Drain is persistent. I will give him that. He's just starting to slowly chip away. And what I think has been most impressive about Tom Drain's season, last year there was a question mark at the end of the season. Could he perform well on a short track? Well, we've now had 5 short tracks out of the 6 races we've had this season, and he is in a great position in the points, considering this has traditionally been his weakest round of circuits.
And for him to be just 14 points behind after the round number 1 with a 15th place finish, that's an incredible rebound. It's impressive. This young man from Australia is really finding his own here in the United States.
Absolutely, and not to mention Chase Sadoff. He has that 1 win under his belt, 4 points down from Tom Drain. I'm excited to see what Chase Sadoff will do here in the final short track of this section of the season.
We kind of gave him a new nickname.
You gave him a new nickname.
I kind of didn't, but I'm kind of using it. We'll see if it sticks.
But I kind of did.
Texas Chainsaw.
Because
he won in Texas. He won his first race in Texas. So I don't know. We'll see if it sticks.
Where did Chainsaw come from?
It come from the other side of the truck, believe it or not.
Hey, guys in the front of the truck, where did the Texas Chainsaw come from?
It's from
because
Jason.
When I think of Texas Chainsaws, I think of something very different than flat track racing. Because he's ripping through the competition.
Like
Thank you very much, Brad, at the front of the truck.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's my favorite nickname.
Yeah, we'll see.
Though.
Look who's rolling out of the racetrack, Kristen. It's time to go.
Let's go. Super Twins bikes are heading out on track. And guys, this is not just the first time they are on track for the day. This is the first time they have ever been on this track, that 2 wheels in this capacity with the American Flat Track Series have ever raced on the Silver Dollar Speedway, a track known for sprint car racing, a well-packed-in track, and a track that the riders are so excited to get their wheels on right now. Jared Mees leading the field.
And Kristen, they start putting moisture on the racetrack early on in the week, because we saw Mees get really sideways, and it almost looked like he'd almost tweaked his knee backwards just a little bit. So keep an eye on the one.
He is slowing down, and he checked up a little bit there. I'm curious if that will be a mistake that he regrets later. But Briar Bauman, his first win of the season in Ventura for the Rick Ware Racing KTM team. And he had told me in Ventura, he said, I am not due. Let's go ahead and go the FloRacing replay to see Jared, where he kind of... Scotty, what are you watching here?
The back end, it kind of stepped out just a little bit, and then he got it recovered, and then it stepped out again. So, I mean, steps out, it means it gets out of line with the front end. The back end just kind of really started coming around on him. He let off and actually got him up out of the seat. So, not a good feeling when you're on that motorcycle.
Is it because maybe the track was too sticky, too moist? What was going on there?
It looked like it was wet, and then it was dry, and then it was wet. It looked like maybe he got on a tire track. You can see a couple different tire tracks. So if you're on a tire track, try to stay on that same one. Don't hop off of it and hop into some different feel of the, you know, it feels one way when you're on a car tire tread, you know, that like they were packing the track in, but then you hop off of, maybe it's a little bit drier, maybe it's a little bit wetter.
Mees with the fastest practice time out there right now. Dallas Daniels in second. I did speak with Dallas Daniels, and I said, how did you approach, or how would you approach a track you've never raced on before in the first practice session? He said you approach it cautiously. You get a feel for how this track feels with your bike, with your setup, and you just try to take notes. So this session is really just for the riders to get a gauge of how this track could potentially race.
You can't win the race right now, but you can definitely lose one if you get hurt, or if you throw the bike, you know, crash and hurt your bike.
If you don't adapt quickly, if you don't head back to the paddock and give your mechanics good feedback. Jared Mees fastest out there, but Scotty, what are we kind of seeing as the riders float around this track? It looks like Dallas is giving it a go there.
I think they're kind of tiptoeing just a little bit. I think we'll start picking up the pace a little bit later on, and we'll add moisture, and the moisture will come up when it starts, cooling off when it gets darker. It is very warm out here today, too. I'd like to point that out.
It's a hot one. It's 88 degrees, baby.
It is warm compared to last week, especially.
FloRacing replay. We're going to take a look at Trevor Bruner on the 21 bike there. He's a little loose.
That was a good recovery right there. So he got it sideways, but didn't let off too much. If you check up too much, it kind of spits you off the high side. So Trevor Bruner, he's going for the Rookie of the Year in this class. We have Rookies of the Year in the Super Twins and in the singles class this year. I'm glad to see we have that going on. But he got a little bit sideways, stayed on the gas. He's doing it for Dave Zanotti and Michelle DeSavo, turning the wrenches on that particular bike.
He's also wearing Will Davis's font style, which happens to be Brad in the front of the truck's favorite rider's font style.
Same numbers. It's so cool to pay homage.
Throwback there.
Yeah, pay homage to a rider.
Super fun.
It was super awesome back in the day.
A side note, he also called the family to ask permission for that, which is so neat.
Yeah, he called Cole Davis, and they asked Mom too, and they said absolutely. So he was a big fan of his growing up, and he's paying tribute to him right now.
Two of our taller riders in this series right there, Max Whale.
And the Giraffe.
Dan Bromley, 1-1 following each other out on track there. So I had a chance to kind of sit down with Max Whale, and rather than focusing on where he's at in the points or where he's at in the season, he said just one lap at a time, just one race at a time, getting the bike better. And that's a really good perspective to take on this season, because you don't want to move into a race and feel like, well, I'm so far behind, I've dug myself into a hole. So Maxwell is just trying to stay positive, get the bike better with each race. And we forget, this is his first season on a Super Twin, and Mikey Rush has been bebopping around the paddock. He's a former Super Twins racer as well, also singles racer, very successful there. And his advice to Maxwell was to do the same. Allow yourself a little grace to get used to the bike.
Yeah, and you're racing against the best riders in the world right here in this class. So yeah, he's getting top 10s. It's good. He's got a good start to his season. Here's another rider in his first season, the 70 of Declan Bender, doing for Grumpy Old Men Racing. He was in that big melee at the last round in Ventura. Yes. His knee's a little bit banged up, but he's out here on this Indian, and he's trying to see what he can do out here tonight. He's up here 6th fast so far.
And one rider we won't see out there, Johnny Lewis. If you have Instagram, you saw it, and you follow the American Flat Track Series, I mean, horrific, but so good to see him walk away from what happened in Ventura.
I've been texting him back and forth. He was a little bit beat up. He did go to the hospital after the race, and then he went on home to Florida. Got checked out again down there. He is doing okay. He's just really sore right now. So that's one of the riders that's not here. Another rider that's not here is the 25 Ben Loud. He was involved in that wreck, as well as the 13 Morgan Mishler broke a bone and hit the top of his right foot.
I saw Morgan posting on Instagram from, I believe it was the hospital, and it looked ugly. It did not look pretty, that's for sure. I'm glad that they are okay. But, I mean, you would never expect it at a short track, but sometimes it's these short tracks where we see those fist fights in phone booths.
Yeah, and they go up there and rub elbows. It just happened that, Johnny Lewis that got traction coming off that final corner, took him up into the wall, bounced off the wall right in front of everybody else. So it's just a chain reaction at that point. But look at Sammy Halbert up there in 4th on the old XR750 Harley Davidson. But it's Meese right now, kind of a little home field advantage. His team, Rogers Racing, SDI Racing, is based out of up here near Sacramento.
And side note, not just bull tacos we'll be seeing in this next session this weekend.
That is true. So
Smith gave us that little nugget.
It is the running of the bulls. They're listed here as bull tacos, but yeah, it's the running of the bulls. It's dedicated this race to Lowell Morrell Sr., number 49Y, and legends of the past and present. All these riders.
Speaking of legends, Scotty, I'm going to head down to go grab some notes because riders have finally hit the track.
No.
Yeah.
You're going to go outside in the heat?
I'm going to go. Well, that is what I do. I get my steps in at these races, so I'm going to call it a day here in the booth, and I'm going to.
You want to go out there and smell the two-stroke smell from the bull tacos in this running of the bulls.
If they made that in a perfume bottle, I'd buy it, baby.
How about a candle?
Huh?
You need a candle.
They actually do.
Yeah,
so,
I know. You need to get some of that.
They've made a two-stroke into a candle, and you can get it on Etsy. Just look up two-stroke candles. It's a thing. But, Scotty, it's been great being here in the booth. Thank you for the time, as always.
Outside.
But I'm going to go grab some notes because this is a big weekend, and with bikes finally getting on track, I'm going to be able to kind of pick these guys' brains.
All right, the bikes are on the racetrack. The number 1 rider out there, that is Jonathan Schaefer. The 9 is Sid Reed. 25, Curtis Peebles. The 1 is Jonathan Schaefer. 54 is Michael Rodriguez. 47, Bobby Toko. 48, Donnie Dara. 50 is Matthew. Where did that one go? Matthew Yapelli. Dominic Monaco's on the 22. Jimmy Abrams on the 24. Dante D'Ambruzzo's on the number 80 bike. I actually shared a motorcycle with him one time at the Del Mar short track. There's the number 1. There's a gold black and white Bull Taco. Again, this is a battle running of the bulls going on right now. So this is their first time out here. A bunch of West Coast riders. Looks like they are all from California with the exception of Sid Reed from Washington. And it looks like one rider also is from Arizona. That is Ken Nito. And Nito goes to the top spot with a 1:8.330 so far here in the running of the bulls. You smell the 2 strokes, and some of them use the compression release to help slow them down when they go off into the corners. They did that way back in the day before they had brakes, and that was one way to get slowed down into the corners. Rodriguez jumps up to second to 54. Michael Rodriguez, 1:8.771. So Ken Nito is definitely 0.4 of a second faster than everybody else so far. Good looking Bull Taco right there. I like the red rims on that one as well. Kristen Beat stepped outside. I'm Scotty Dubler joining me in the booth. He's went to school right here. He's from nearby Sacramento. Ralph Shaheen, welcome back to your neck of the woods. Welcome home.
Thank you, Scotty. It is so great to be back here in Chico and the Silver Dollar Speedway. Spent a lot of time watching races out here. Unfortunately, we didn't get to watch a lot of flat track races here. They never had a national here. They did run outlaw flat track races here once or twice over the history of this facility, but not a lot of history on 2 wheels here.
Not yet.
Not yet.
There you go.
We're about to.
We're starting it right here tonight. That was your Bull Tacos. Most of them are on Bull Taco Astros, but they'll take them back there. It's the running of the bulls. It's the 3rd running of the bulls. That's what they're calling it out here on the West Coast, and they're taking it back to the pit area. They have transponders on all these motorcycles in the exact same position. That's how we get the times up here into the booth. And one note, there's some leathers out there that look like Andrew Luckers because they are Andrew Luckers, but Andrew's not here. He's over at the track where you started racing go-karts
Yeah,
tonight.
which is about 10 miles down the road, just south of here, just outside of the Chico city limits, if you will. And Lowell Merle's famed facility that started so many careers. Kyle Larson, Brad Sweet, Tyler Reddick, Matt DiBenedetto, Kobe Copeland, and myself.
The list goes on and on. You're up there with those legends.
Those guys are all pretty fast. One of those kids is running at the Indy 500 this year, if that tells you anything.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's switch gears. Parts Unlimited AFT Singles presented by Kicker. Your points leader will lead him out. That is the 2-time and defending champ from just up the road in the state. Couple above us up there in Micah, Washington. That is Cody Kopp. And here comes last week's winner, the 59 Tom Drain. He's from nearby Australia.
Yeah, well, Ventura was his home race, right? Because that was 7,500 miles away. This one's probably about 78, so it's a little further.
I know. We joked about that on the Fox show.
Unbelievable.
It comes out tomorrow morning out here on the West Coast.
So, Scotty, you talk about Micah, Washington, and if you race from out here on the West Coast, speaking of Cody Kopp from Micah, Washington.
Woo. Man.
A little slick early on here, huh?
Yeah, because they're going a lot lower than it looked like. The Super Twins are running up a lot higher, which we expected to see out here.
Yeah. But it would not be unusual to see racers from California, and Oregon, and Washington chasing each other up and down I-5, which is the big freeway out here that literally runs from the Mexican border all the way to the Canadian border and all points in between. So a lot of dirt trackers would be going to a lot of places up and down the coast, from Ventura and Paris down in the far south, all the way up to Skagit and places like that, way up into Washington. So
the motorcycle racers that came out of Washington were usually good at TTs because the Castle Rock TT is up there, but some of the other riders had branched out and got good at other forms of racing, including the number 1 right there of Cody Kopp.
Did you see Tom Drain set that thing about as sideways
He really threw it into the corner. Cody pulled off early for some reason. Maybe he just wanted to let the 59 go on by.
That was this is 1 degree away from a high side, I think.
Watch the 59, second bike in line. Oh, he slid it really sideways in the little bit looser stuff just off of the groove, or what's starting to form as a groove going in the corner. Got it really cross stuff going in the corners. They do have a steel shoe on their left foot that helps them when they slide in the corners. And for the new flat track fans, rear brakes only on the circle tracks. Trent Lowe, there he goes across the screen, the fastest. Now Cody Kopp picks it up after he let Drain go by. He's now the fastest on the racetrack, 1:7.347 for the number 1 rider in the country.
And again, just to expand on that a little bit further for our newer fans, this is going to sound very basic information for those that are not new to the sport, but Yes, we do race on more than just straight ovals. The majority of flat track races are on ovals, but we do a couple of TT, Scotty, and that's where that brake is going to come into play.
Yeah, the front brake. So, yeah, we have 2 TTs on the schedule, the historic Peoria TT down in Thunder Valley, and new on the schedule is the Sturgis TT in the streets of Sturgis.
Do you really call it the Peoria TT, or should it be named the Loose Meat Burger TT?
Man, PMC burgers are amazing. Now you're making me hungry again. We just ate, Ralph. Oh, man.
Even our boy Tree at the front end of the truck is laughing over that one because he knows what that does to you.
I love them loose meat sandwiches, the PMC burger.
Buddy, don't we know that you do?
Okay, well, maybe.
Yeah,
they have to set
Tree
the
just said
level of the
level of the truck
bit.
because it tilts when you get done.
Well, maybe I'll set a new record this year.
What is the current record?
I think it's about 8.
8, all right. I think if you start training now.
Shayna Texter Bauman on the screen. The 115 comes up the inside. That's Anselmi, California rider.
Is on that 52.
There's the 154, Michael Inderbitsen's his second round with us. We haven't seen him a whole lot for a little while. He used to be number 54, and he goes around the outside of Shayna Texter Bauman. Looks like Shayna's kind of taking some time finding her line. It looks like she's trying a little bit lower than some of these other riders. And
hey, when you're the winningest rider in the category, you can do whatever you want. Make them all follow you, right?
Absolutely. Follow the ponytails, what I used to say.
Be a smart thing to do.
7.347 so far. Cody Kopp is the fastest one. He was in that first group. This is group number 2. 21 riders here in the Parts Limited AFT singles class. Here comes Shorty, the 157, trying to sneak up the inside.
Watch this moment on the 52. Right in there.
Yeah, so she's like right at the edge of the groove, and there she gets a little bit of bump and kind of sets her up out of the saddle just a little bit. So they say flat track, but our tracks are far from flat. You can see little ridges form. You can see on a car track, it's different things pop up that you don't expect to see. So it's far from flat. It's got quite a bit of banking. Actually, Brian Smith described kind of as a quarter pipe. It starts out really, really flat, then it just goes up really quick. So the white flag is out here in our first round of practice.
There's that spot right there, too. Got her again.
Yeah, it's like right at the edge of the groove, right before it gets up into the high line, and just kind of throwing her off guard just a little bit. Ian Wolf trying to sneak on by the 157 as they go to Big P and that checkered flag. Michael Inderbitsen was in that group. He goes all the way up to 5th place right there in that final session with the 17.701. So take a look at the Parts Plus. Number 52, Shayna Texter Bauman. So it's Cody Kopp at the top spot, 17.347. The entire first round of practice is all done for the day. Cody Kopp is fastest, Trent Lowe is second, Tom Drain is third, Sadoff and Inderbitsen your top 5. That's it for our first round of practice. We're going to take a break from the awesome grounds where Ralph.
Get ready, New York. On Saturday, June 15th, American Flat Track returns to Orange County Speedway in Middletown, New York.
Twist the throttle and go. Here we go. Oh, boy, right up the inside. He certainly felt that. How about this move?
Massive championship implications here.
Meet your favorite riders. You don't want to miss the Orange County Half Mile, Saturday, June 15th. Get your tickets now at AmericanFlatTrack.com.
Come see us at C&E Auburn Indian Motorcycle and V-Twin. Best new and used bikes, parts, apparel, and riding gear. Our service department handles all American V-Twins. Machine shop, collision repair, and extended warranty. Arai Helmets started racing in America in flat track, and we've been supporting it ever since. Arai, handcrafted with an obsessive priority for protection.
DCT is an automatic transmission. You heard right. The Honda DCT is a fully automatic transmission. For a motorcycle, it'll shift faster than you can, at the right time, right speed, and right RPM. And when you want to shift for yourself, use paddle shifters mounted on the left handlebar. Take a DCT demo on a new Honda Africa Twin and other available models. Schedule your DCT demo right now at Al Lamb's Dallas Honda.
Al Lamb's Dallas Honda is proud to sponsor the Singles Challenge. No holds barred, winner takes all dash for cash. The payout, a cool $2,500. Al Lamb's Dallas Honda, riding red since 1977. DallasHonda.com.
Light Shoe has been building quality steel shoes for flat track racers since 1998. They serve the flat track community worldwide, building custom hot shoes to fit individual needs with the rider's unique style in mind. With more than 25 years of experience and a 1-year unconditional guarantee, you'll know you've made the right choice when your foot touches the ground going into turn 1. Join the Light Shoe crew. You'll be glad you did.
There are places that come to life when the sun goes down, and even the most traveled roads transform in the darkness. As riders, the Law Tigers get it. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, visit lawtigers.com. Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers.
These are the best motorcycle riders in the world, racing on the most challenging tracks on the planet. Only a crazy person would compete in this sport.
Oh, boy! Contact there!
Watch out!
Sliding through the corners, handlebar to handlebar.
Going fast and on the edge or out of control.
Every decision we make, we're going to make to win.
Racing is all about being mentally tough.
You might as well pack your stuff up and go home.
It's speed. You feel it.
The world's premier dirt track motorcycle racing makes its highly anticipated return to Bridgeport Speedway on Saturday, June 22nd for the Progressive American Flat Track Bridgeport Half Mile.
Here we go. This should be a fantastic race here at Bridgeport.
Oh, takes it right across the front wheel and knees. Nobody lifted an inch.
Bring the whole family to the Bridgeport Half Mile on Saturday, June 22nd. Lock in your seats now at AmericanFlatTrack.com.
There's a beautiful shot of Lake Oroville, Scotty. Be nice to be out swimming in that today, wouldn't it? Nice and cool.
And look at all those boats out there.
Yeah, oh, it's been a happening area out there.
Why didn't you get us on one of those?
We could have used that for our broadcast position, couldn't we?
Definitely.
Giving out there with your feet in the water. And there she is, Chico State, right there. That's where it all went down, Scotty.
That's where you went for 3 years, huh?
Yes, sir. Got out of that school with a double major in broadcasting and public relations, and apparently I'm making it work.
Saw you on TV.
Yeah.
Just the other day.
Yeah, we local news stations came out, did some stories, some PR for what we're doing out here this week, and
she won the race.
Lauren Cooper,
yeah,
my new good friend Lauren Cooper. Yep.
I like that.
She works for KHSL, which ironically KHSL TV I was an intern at when I was going to college here.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it has been. There's fans in the grandstands here.
They're waving everybody.
Settling in. Hey, everybody, good to see you out there. There they are. A lot of great race fans here in Northern California, including us too.
And we're two great fans, ready for a short track, another short track on the circuit.
Last one, right?
Nope, they added one.
That's right.
The last race of the season.
That's right.
During the Lake of the Ozarks motorcycle rally.
You've been there.
I have not been to the track. I've been by. I've been to the rally several times. I used to go there and sell Harley-Davidson products and help the Harley dealership there, but I've not been to the racetrack. So it's another new track, just like this one is new to me.
What do you think?
I'm excited.
It's gonna be a great stop.
It's different. Having a short track on the last race of the year. Last year was at the Springfield Mile doubleheader, so it's different. If the points battle is tight, anything can happen on a short track. You know, we've seen new winners on short tracks before, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see where the points chase is coming out of Springfield with a doubleheader there.
Yeah.
And then we go to Lake of the Ozarks for a final run.
It's going to be exciting.
And, of course, our friends at Law Tigers will probably be there. They're a big part of our sport.
Yep, they're probably going to be there for the rally. That's
a
busy rally. It's growing in popularity. It's beautiful riding around that area. It's kind of hilly, maybe almost kind of mountainy, woods, and very pretty area.
And lake.
Big lakes. Lots of water. Bikes are rolling around right now, getting set to come out for our second round of practice here today. There are 2 rounds for all 3 classes, and then we'll get into qualifying. And we'll have 2 rounds of qualifying for the 2 premier classes. We also have the Bull Tacos, the running of the Bulls. Their qualifying heat races are a little bit later on as well. They'll have a heat race and a main event. Our stars will have heats, last chance qualifiers, challenge races, and then the main event.
Some of the mechanics over there checking on the bikes. Michelle DeSalvo checking on her rider, Trevor Bruner.
Blackjack.
Yeah.
I like it. Kind of stole that from Brian Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that too.
Right.
It's okay. You can have
more than one.
And different sports.
Hey, there's more than one king in racing, right?
There you go.
King Kenny, King Richard,
King Ralph Shaheen.
King Kinzer.
King Ralph.
No, I don't know about that.
Well, I don't know. There's Kenny Coolbeth. King Kenny Coolbeth.
King Kenny Coolbeth, yeah.
Hey, you know, I found out not that long ago he didn't like being called the King of Cool.
No?
Nope. Yeah.
Well, you just...
I didn't give him that nickname.
You gave him Chainsaw to set off.
I didn't do Chainsaw. That was the other side of the truck.
Well...
The Texas Chainsaw.
Texas Chainsaw.
I used it.
Yeah.
There's the 3 of Breyer getting ready to roll out. Not using that one. Nope. Jared Meese is right there getting set to go. The Jammer.
Is there anyone that you ignore anymore? Any nicknames that you just don't use anymore?
There's one that's from the other side of the truck that I don't really care.
What was that one again?
The Plumber.
Oh, that one.
I'm not. No, I'm not. It's coming from the other side of the truck. Somebody over there.
That's called the tag team right there.
Oh,
right
man.
through the TV. Bam.
That's not his nickname.
Gotcha. Well, you gave it to him.
No, I did not. It came from the other side of the truck. Oh, man.
What does he do?
He's the bomber.
Plumber. No, the plumber.
He circles like nobody
Oh,
else.
okay.
Yeah, that's the other side of the truck. Talking about Drain, by the way. We're talking about Tom Drain.
Oh,
Drain.
that makes sense.
No, it's...
Shouldn't you have said reverse drain?
Maybe.
Because down under it
May goes the wrong way.
Goes the way, right?
The other way. I don't know if it's the wrong way or what it is. Here we go. Let's bring some motorcycles on the track.
We have lost
me
Houston,
in this one.
We have an issue.
Yep. It's not A-okay. So the bikes are coming out slowly. They'll get a practice start. And your buddy Fro actually brought this up in the broadcast last week.
Yeah.
He was very disappointed at some of the riders and their starts.
Well, listen, Jeff, you know, as great of a rider as he was arguably the best ever when it came to starts. And he would tell you that made a huge difference in how many races he won and championships he won over his career. He really perfected that craft.
Well,
and he noticed immediately watching these guys that he felt a lot of them didn't have their weight distribution where it should have been on the bike for the start.
And I talked about it on my podcast this week. This is the only practice start you get is right there. You need to take full advantage of it. I don't remember ever as a racer just going out, getting my race bike out, and doing a practice start at home or on some dirt.
Yeah, no,
so
Jeff,
it's something that we don't practice enough of.
Jeff and all the moto guys, whether Supercross or motocross, specifically go out to the racetrack and practice starts. No different than a car team goes out and practices pit stops.
Exactly. So
they do the same type of effort to their starts.
What I did see watching some Supercross is I think it was Jet Lawrence. He has a game.
Jet's very good.
They have a grade that they put down, and he's doing practice starts in the pit area that night of the race. Yes, exactly. So,
but you know, Scotty, and we've seen it here with flat track. The right start can make all the difference. Yes, the start is important each and every week, but we talk about it all the time. There are certain venues where you line up in the start, that angle down into the first corner, and how you start can make such a huge difference. If you put somebody like Dallas Daniels, if he gets the jump on a Jared Means, that might be all it takes to hold him off.
Well, you're correct. So we're looking at Jared Vanderkoy right now. He's having a good season. I'm thinking he's due for a podium here this weekend. But you think about how fast Davis Fisher was last week. He fell off in the heat race. That put him at the back of the pack for the rest of the night. He was so fast at practice and qualifying at the Pronto Parts Plus pole award. And then he goes out there and crashes and puts him behind the 8 ball the rest of the evening. So it kind of maybe cost him his second career win.
Sure. Jeff was talking about foot placement on the pegs and where they put their foot down on the dirt. You know, not just putting your foot straight down, but is it far enough back or far enough forward can make a huge difference. And how quick you get that leg back up. So many little things that go into the start.
And leaning forward, sitting straight up, and how fast can you get out of whatever gear you're starting in, whether you're starting in second, shifting to third, or starting in first and shifting to second. That's critical as well.
Jeff really liked the idea we were talking about it after of being further up on the seat, keep that front wheel down from all the lift we see these guys popping the wheelies as they come out of the start.
Quick time is Jared Meese right now this second round of practice, 17.316, so he's about 0.2 faster than he was in that first session. That's just learning the racetrack. They did put some more moisture on it, and they'll try to keep that moisture in it all evening long. We talked to Brian Smith and some of the other riders and people that say when the sun goes down, they think more moisture will actually come up. as it cools off.
So Mark Cooper, who did the prepping of the track, was out here talking with him yesterday. Mark trained under Lowell Merle, who Lowell ran Cycle Land and was well known for prepping Cycle Land and for prepping this track out here. Not for the bikes necessarily, but for the sprint cars. Knew the dirt inside and out. Talked with Mark quite a bit yesterday about what they were doing, how much water they were putting. Some over 12,000 gallons of water just coming into today already on the dirt. And again, it's not about soaking the dirt. As he explained it, it's all about getting the layers to connect so that as you work through the dirt, you're getting good traction all the way through.
So there's a lot of water below the surface. We're racing on the top surface right now, which it's getting a blue groove in some points, which we expected it to, but maybe later on that high line might come in. You can see the hash marks. That's just a point of reference. They can race below there or above there if they choose to.
Now, I did talk to a gentleman who raced an outlaw event here in the 70s, and he did it on a Triumph 750, and he said when they ran that night, they were above those hash marks in the corners, all the way up to the top of the dirt, and the real loose stuff up there, just ripping around the edge of the bowl.
Did you call that race too?
No, I was not here for that one, unfortunately. I would have. $20 is $20.
Exactly. Speaking of $20, we're going down to the Lodi Cycle Bowl tomorrow for the third day of the West Coast Triple Crown. There's Bronson Bauman had his best finish of the season last weekend at Ventura. It's a kind of a home race for him as well as his brother.
So you got $20 last night, $20 tomorrow night, $1.50 tonight. You've had a pretty good weekend.
And a free lunch today. Yeah.
Yeah, you're way ahead of the game.
Way ahead. I'm going to sit first class on the way home.
I got a half week for now.
There is the trusty XR 750 slamming Sammy Halbert, the 69 bike from Graham, Washington, back on his side of the United States. He actually lives in Charlotte now.
Yes, he does. New real estate agent in town.
There you go.
Passed his real estate exam.
On his first try.
First try, which is not easy.
There you go. So he actually still kept his place in Tallahassee. He's renting that out. So he's, jack of all trades. On the Dodge Brothers XR 750. Maybe one of the bikes in the stable that Brad Baker won his championship on.
Sammy will be going over to Europe, too, later in the year, won't he? Going back over there for the FIM version of flat track?
He usually goes over and hangs out and races at Rossi's Ranch, at Valentino Rossi. They go left and go right a little bit. He goes all over the place.
See, Valet won a car race?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, this weekend.
Was that on SS1?
No.
Oh.
No, it was not. Actually, you know what? It might have been, now that I think about it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Jared Mees, quick time in practice, 17.316. Sammy Halbert, who we had our eyes on right there, is currently 5th on the Harley-Davidson, 17.649. There are 2 Harleys in the field. Max Wells on the newer version of the flat track bike from Harley, the XG 750. He's currently 12th after our second round of practice. Up next, it's the running of the bulls. And they're not all bull tacos, is what I was told.
If you need a slightly used top wing from a sprint car, there's one right behind our bulls back there. See it?
Absolutely. I saw that earlier.
If you need a little
if I had room in my suitcase, I'd take it home. Yeah, exactly. So the running of the bulls, actually their first race was in Quincy, California, 7/25 of 1998. This July 27th, they're going back to the Quincy for the 26th year anniversary. The original concept was Spanish makes, Bultacos, Montesas, and Osas. With low turnout for several years, they've decided to open back up the air-cooled 2-strokes, no CC limits. ROTB has, the Running of the Bulls, has 13 races on the schedule in 2024. Silver Dollar is running race number 3 of this series.
Quincy's a cool little mountain town.
And the Running of the Bulls here tonight is dedicated to Lowell Murrell Sr., number 49Y, and all the legends past and present. Running of the Bulls, Bultaco versus the world, right here. This is their second round of practice, a good chance to get a practice start. So they've opened it up to 2-stroke motorcycles. So that's why they're not all Bultacos. You hear the compression releases on some of them. That's how you just clean them out.
They are some of the prettiest flat trackers you'll see.
Oh yeah, the Bultacos are beautiful. All right, got thumbs up from Big P. They're going to step out of the way. Yeah, they were just showing them the sequence of how the lights go, and then they said, okay, go ahead and take off. So it's your chance to get a good practice start right there.
Oh, one down.
Already?
Yep, right there in between 1 and 2.
Drone shot down the back straightaway. They're actually pitting outside the back straightaway here
today. Like it might have been Sid Reed.
Here they come.
The 9.
They're still running, so he must have got up and got out of the way. It's 47 right there, Bobby Toko. Curtis Peebles on the 25 machine. Here's the replay. You saw the second bike, was it?
No,
it was the leader.
9.
Oh, they lost the front end. Woo!
Yeah,
Everybody
Sid Reed.
Good job avoiding. Sid was fast in that first round of practice. So it's a little bit looser down below the racing surface. You can see a little bit of marbles starting to form down there. Back out front. 54, Michael Rodriguez, 19.005. 25 is the fastest bike on the racetrack as we go back. 9's back up and going.
Yeah.
There he is. That's what they taught you back in the day. Get up and get going.
Yeah.
Because if you have to restart the back of the pack, you won't make it back up to the front. So they'll have one heat race and one main event later on. See a couple of Yamahas out there, it sounds like, and 2 strokes. There goes the 17. That is actually James Monaco's brother, Dominic Monaco. Listed here is number 22. That was James's number, but Dominic runs 17Y. A lot of them had the letters on their number plates like the old style. Used to tell everybody what part of the country they were from. California had X, Y, and for some reason had the letter E. And that never made sense to me at all. Maybe they ran out of people for X and Y and had extra spots open in the letter E, possibly. I don't know. You ride the 2-strokes a little bit different. You need to carry more momentum through the corners. They used to really slide them sideways. Right now, the track is a little bit too tacky to really pitch it sideways. We saw Drain do it, but that was on accident. So with the way the bikes are set up nowadays and the tracks are just, they hold them in there. You can't hardly slide them into the corners like you used to.
Yeah, we had somebody reaching out here recently just asking us about that. Hey, Howie, hope you're enjoying the show. We don't see that much anymore, Scotty. So you're saying it's more because of the way the bikes are now set up? It's not necessarily tracked as
and the tires.
Track prep.
Yeah, and the tires. I mean, what else could you do to this track to make it where they could slide the corners other than dig it up and have it really loose like Lima or even like last weekend? We saw a lot of people really slide in the corners. When it grooves up like this, they just really kind of slide it into the corner, and then they kind of two-wheel it through the middle, grab a handful as soon as you can to drive off of the corners.
Do you miss that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I do too.
Absolutely. And I don't know when it kind of switched from really being sideways to really two-wheeling it in, but that was it for the Bultacos in there, or the running of the Bulls. 1:8.514 is the quickest time. And it looks like the 33 has been fastest each time out so far. And here comes the singles. Good question, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if I answered it properly or not.
No, I thought you did great.
Thanks. Just gave my opinion. So, again, just like the other 2 classes, they come out here, they get a practice start. They come out according to their point settings for you new fans as well. Cody Kopp, the 2-time and defending champ, is on the 1. 59 is Tom Drain. He won last round. 88, Chase Sadoff finally got his first win of his career in Texas a couple weeks ago. 88, Trent Lowe. Trent was fast in the first round of practice. 19 is James Ott from Simi Valley, California. 66, Logan Eisenhard. 82, Travis Pettin. 75, Terrence Santero. 55, Tyler Raggio. On the 265 is rookie Evan Renshaw. On 63 is Jared Lowe.
There's Trent on the 48.
Trent was quick in that first round of practice, and at the last lap, Cody Kopp was a little bit faster.
Tom Drain behind him. Watch Trent on this, Scotty. Even coming onto the track can be fun. Riders having a little fun playing around.
Oh, yeah, kind of just
a little
jumping up here.
tabletop jump back off the top of the cushion.
Well, Trent likes to go motocross, and his little brother, Jared, actually qualified for Loretta Lynn's last year. He likes motocross that much.
That's pretty serious.
Well, and you know what? It keeps you in shape. You know, it keeps you on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
I like jumping. I thought it was fun. Tree asked if that's what he's doing wrong.
He's doing wrong. He's not training hard enough that way.
There you go. Well,
Training
he needs to train with what they brought for Jason this weekend instead of what they normally have over there.
Yeah, what happened to all that? Where'd all the fun go?
He went to the farmer's market, got some fruits.
He should have gone to the farmer's market at the Buc-ee's. Would have been a lot better.
Oh, watch out. Somebody's having an issue right there. Come out that corner of the 88, and the 82 almost had nowhere to go.
The old Texas chainsaw.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to stick.
I'm just following your lead there.
We need AFT to do a little questionnaire on social media to see if they like it or not. He doesn't care. Whoa. A little scary moment right there.
He might change his nickname there if he doesn't hang on long enough.
Depends.
Yeah. Seriously.
Here it is.
It's got a little sketchy.
Watch the, oh, this is the bike.
Set off.
Yep, okay. Gets bucked up out of the saddle again. He did that at Ventura a few times, remember?
He is not afraid to ride through that either.
Nope. And he just does it again right there in turn 4. So he might be just hooking up that much. It gets him up out of the saddle and picks the front wheel up, and there he goes. The front wheel comes up immediately. He never lets off the throttle.
He doesn't. He just keeps digging.
Look at Cody Kopp, 17.284. Watching Sadoff, 17.5. There he is again. Man, riding it like he stole it.
I mean, look, it's cool to watch and everything, but there's a point of no return on that.
At some point, it might not get back under control, so hopefully he gets that thing dialed in. Yeah, a couple of laps ago, something else happened coming off of turn number 2, and a couple of guys had absolutely nowhere to go, but another look at Sadoff. Really using some body English, and there he hits a little rut, gets him up out of the saddle.
Really pushing it.
Blue group starting to form. Group 2 rolls on to the racetrack of your Parts Unlimited AFT Singles presented by Kicker Class, and here they come. I heard him have a special guest in the booth in a little bit.
Yeah, Brad Sweet's going to come by.
Sweet.
Yeah, exactly. He just flew in from Syracuse. They raced last night at Utica Rome Speedway.
The Big Cat.
The Big Cat. And he's, of course, one of the promoters here with Kyle Larson. They both grew up racing at Cycleland and racing here at Silver Dollar. And Northern California guys. Brad's from Grass Valley, just east of Sacramento, and Kyle from Elk Grove, just south.
Went through there yesterday. This is group number 2, 24 Hunter Bauer from up in Canada, 52 Shane and Texter Bauman, 115.
That's a little bit north.
Yeah, a little bit north of here. Justin Anselmi on the 115. 40s, Olin Kistler from Castle Rock, Washington. He goes better on the TT courses, but he's getting these short tracks figured out. Michael Enderbitsen's the 154. He's from Modesto, California, part of the Modesto Mafia. 157 Shorty Ian Wolf, 151 Colt Fredrickson. 110 Dominic DeMario, 275 Ryan Hyatt, and 175 TJ Welty. Those last 4 names I just announced, they were all racing last night, the Lodi Cycle Bowl.
Where you were on the microphone?
That's right. I can't wait to go back there tomorrow. And there we look at Shayna Texter Bauman trying to come through the pack. She's chasing the 157 of Ian Wolf. Caught up to Ian on the pit walk, and he's having some motorcycle issues right now, but looks like he's got it all figured out. Shayna's coming up the inside of 157. I gotta go get a shirt. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, no, I haven't gotten one either.
Extra medium?
Yeah, double extra medium.
All right, double
extra medium.
Cody Kopp still quickest right now. Michael Enderbitsen on the track. The 154 has moved up to 6th spot again. Shane Texter Bauman sneaks up the inside of Ian Wolf, the 157. Shayna, 52 bike, currently 18th quick. TJ Welty moves up to 17th. Cole Fredrickson moves up to 16th on this one. Justin Anselmi's on the racetrack. He is in the top 10 now with a 10th so far in the 2nd round of practice. Our last group of practice for the afternoon. Next time they come out will be qualifying action for all 3 classes. Check flags out for Big P. One rider that is missing is Dalton Gauthier. He's in Pennsylvania. They're doing a fundraiser for Dalton up there in Pine Grove, Pennsylvania. So he made the trip back home from California last week. And the singles take it back to the pit area. Don't forget, get your raffle tickets. They're raffling off 2 great prizes here today for Back on Track. One is a Cortex set of leathers, and one is a helmet from Helmet House. So get your raffle tickets from Back on Track. They'll do those a little bit later.
守れるデザインっていうのがいいデザインなんだよっていうところを理解してもらう。
引っかかったりとか邪魔にならないようにっていうので、成型品の中ではできるだけ角をなくして。
People
Fertile area for growing different things on the way here.
Yeah, the San Joaquin Valley, basically, you go all the way down to the Grapevine, just north of Bakersfield. You can run it all the way up to the Oregon border. Is just super fertile, and so much of the world's agriculture products come from up and down the valley. Here in the Chico area, one of the big things was Blue Diamond almonds.
Yeah.
So right outside my dorm room was a huge orchard of almond trees, which bloom with this beautiful white flower every spring, and it was always pretty to look out the dorm room window and see that gigantic orchard of almond trees.
They ship those worldwide pretty much, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just right out of here.
Right out of Chico. And the other thing that comes out of Chico that we export is Sierra Nevada Brewery.
We passed that earlier, just a little while ago on the way to lunch.
So that's a big export out of Chico.
Crowd starting to fill in here today for our inaugural Silver Dollar short track.
Yeah, here's hoping we make this a regular stop in the coming years, huh? Looks like a Donnie Schatz shirt right there.
Yeah, the sprint car. Yeah.
Schatz's
the old yellow 15 out there.
Yeah, that's
the early days, right?
Going back, yeah. The Gold Cup is the big event here, held every year in the fall. And, of course, now Brad and Kyle have started. That was a World of Outlaw event. And Brad and Kyle have started High Limits. So they're actually, because they're the promoters here at Silver Dollar and the promoters of the High Limits Tour along with FloRacing, they're going to run that week here for High Limits, and they won't be calling it the Gold Cup.
Okay.
They'll do the traditional 3-day format, huge purse and all that. All the big names will be here, but it won't be a World of Outlaws stop on the tour, and it won't be called the Gold Cup.
And we were supposed to be here 2 weeks ago, and they had one heck of a storm coming in, and they made the right decision because you were here.
Absolutely. I was here. There's no way we could have
There was
raced.
hail and rain, and
Big
it
hail.
won't rain again until later this fall, you
Yeah,
say.
probably October will be the next time we see rain around here, which is unbelievable.
That's
but
crazy.
that's the way it goes. But there's tons of snow up in the Sierra still because of all that snow that came with that storm a couple of weeks ago, first weekend in May. And it was there's Brad Sweet right there looking for our TV truck. We see you, Brad.
The big
Keep
cat.
coming. The big cat's here.
All right. We also want to say thanks to the fair board out here. The fair starts May 23rd, runs to the 27th. There's a lot of activities going on the 23rd. Ben Haggard, Merle Haggard's son, antique tractor pull going on. May 24th, which is next Friday, Aaron Watson, Bulls and Broncs at the shootout.
And there's actually, you can see it right there. See that tent right there? That's the actual motorcycle ride that I could ride here.
Let's go.
It's, you remember the little bikes?
Yeah, you sit on there and have a good time.
It goes around, yeah.
Anyway, there's a lot going on at the fair. Yep. Saturday is Chase Beckham, Bulls and Broncs shootout. Sunday, May 26th, Fiesta in El Ferra, and the 410 sprint cars right here. And then Monday, fireworks and the Micromania Wrestling going on out here, man. It sounds like a big-time fair. I think we might have to stick around. It'd be fun. We're actually
fun.
We're actually
there. You go. There's the motorcycles right there.
That's what we can go ride on. We should go do that and get a video. That black trailer over there, that's the merchandise trailer off to the left side.
Over there.
They're going to light up some of the rides a little bit later
the ice
on.
Cream.
Oh, that's where we got to go,
I don't know if
too.
that's open today or not. That might just be here for the fair, but we'll have to explore that later.
Yeah, I'm going to get a T-shirt here in just a little bit.
There you go.
We got 2 rounds of qualifying coming up next. Super Twins will be on the track next. And the Bull Tacos, which they're actually calling now something different, the running of the Bulls. And then we'll have our Parts Limited AFT singles for their round of qualifying. 2 rounds of qualifying for the Super Twins and for the singles. We'll have one more round of qualifying for the Astros. They will have a heat race. And then after opening ceremonies a little bit later on the program, the Astros running of the Bulls will have a main event.
There's Brad talking to Brian Smith. A couple of racing legends there on 2 and 4 wheels.
The 49 and the 42.
That's right.
And yeah, put them in the wrestling match a little bit later
Smitty
on Monday.
said he was going to take on Brad in the wrestling match. I love it.
Yeah, that's on Monday the 27th out
About
here
the
at
same
Fairgrounds.
stature.
Yeah. Some of our corner workers over here. That Fast Friday shirt on right there.
Yeah, and a Sack Mile shirt.
There you go. They've been around.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to take a quick break while they finish up some track.
Flying at your Mission Super Twins here at the Silver Dollar Short Track. The times will be recorded every time we get out there, and it's kind of racing like there's no straightaway. There's not much of a chance to even take a breath. You're into the corner. Oh, Meese just about fell off right there again. It seems like as soon as we put the corner on him, or the camera on him, he does something crazy.
Yeah, these guys are pushing it pretty hard.
Wow. Watch the one bike.
This.
He did everything but fall off that motorcycle.
That is some incredible riding.
Whew.
See his body English on that?
Nice save.
So far off.
He's just trying to win the Save of the Year award, I think. I think that's what he's shooting for. Jared Meese out there. He's fastest in both rounds of practice and already fastest in qualifying, even though he had that scary moment just 2 laps to go right there in the middle of 3 and 4. The jammer, Jared Meese, again, Rogers Racing based out of California, SDI Installation also based out of California. So he's got a lot of reason to win this one.
They'll continue to dial in the track. I'm sure that's one of the things that Brad and Brian were talking about.
Well, it's the first time here. It's a learning every time we go out there. How much water can you put on it? How much, what can we do differently to the racetrack? And when the line is set right now, you can't put a lot of water on the groove, but what you can do is maybe put some down below it or maybe even up above it. The riders were mentioning earlier today that they might be racing up above the line later on into the evening when it cools off, maybe when the sun sets. Meese 17.431 fastest. Trevor Bruner, the rookie's up to second, 17.529. Dave Zanotti, the tuner and the builder of the frames for that one, is from out here in California, so he's got some reason to go good. There's the 21 Blackjack moving up to second quick, and he's closing in on Jared Meese. It's a 17.431 to a 17.478.
There will be 3 guys that will love this place, or gals, because it will be the 3 winners of our 3 categories, right? They'll all think it was perfect.
Absolutely. Qualifying round number 1 again for you new fans. There's a transponder on the fork tube of every motorcycle. There's a loop at the start-finish line area, and that's how we get the times. You can watch them on the app.
I'm going to bet there's a bit of a frustrated look on the guy inside that number 1 helmet.
Even though he's fastest, he's had a few moments already early on in today's event.
He's not comfortable.
Not yet. He'll get it dialed in. Maybe small changes to the air pressure, maybe some suspension changes, but Group 2 is about to roll out.
Could be a line change too, right?
Yeah, and it will continue to change throughout the evening, I believe. Stay up with it. Group 2 rolling onto the racetrack, qualifying for your Mission Super Twins. 18 Maxwell, 62 is Dan Bromley, 69 Sammy Halbert, 34 Cam Smith from Pennsylvania, 37 Bronzenbaum from Salinas, 36 Colby Carlisle, 70 is Declan Bender, and the 47 is the Missile, Michael Hill.
Scotty, this is also the type of track, tell me if you think I'm a little crazy on this or maybe I'm in the zone, where if it's going to be hard for some of the guys who we normally think are the ones to keep an eye on, maybe those guys struggle to get a hold on the racetrack here tonight. We could have some attrition because of that. Somebody we're not ready or expecting to see on the top step of the podium right now might end up breaking through and getting a win or getting their first win. A rider like Maxwell might get their first career Twins win.
It does happen. It happens more often on the short track because it's not all about the motorcycle. It's about going out there and riding it. So it very well could happen. As we got Sammy Halbert jumping up to second right now on the times, 14.475 on the Trust and the bike that's won more races, over 500 main events for the XR750 motorcycle.
Wouldn't it be something if it's Sammy Halbert here tonight?
That would be amazing. The last win on an XR750 was Texas Motor Speedway back in 2017. It was Jeffrey Carver that night. Sammy taking a look over his shoulder, going to let Bronson go on by. It looks like he's looking down on the motorcycle too. And now he's reaching down for something on the motorcycle, like possibly one of the carburetors came off.
It looks like something mechanical isn't right.
Yeah, he's kind of checking the throttle. Here's the onboard of Sammy last week at Ventura. Going into turn number 3 right here, up in the high side. Something happened, like he looked down. And here he comes, turn 1 and 2, and just lost the front end right there. That was the Insta360 camera footage. The white flag is out in this round of qualifying. Sammy's already pulled off of this session after running a second quick time here in qualifying. It's Meese been fastest in both rounds of practice, and now first round of qualifying, 1:7.431. He was a little bit faster in qualifying or practice 2, 1:7.316.
Sammy led the majority of the laps both nights at Daytona.
There's a shot from up above. You can see it's arcing straightaways right there, so you're not set up and pointed straight very often. So it's a quarter-mile short track, but it's racing almost